Hello and welcome to today's Emily Draws, and today we are going to be drawing Sunny the Meerkat from my book Meerkat Mail. As usual, we are going to need some equipment. We are going to need some paper, doesn't really matter what kind. We are going to need a pencil, and you could use some colour pencils if you want or not, it doesn't really matter. You could use some crayons. And I am going to use what I used in the book. I'm going to use some watercolour paint. This is my paint palette. You see, it's really messy. Everything I do is a bit messy. My paints come in little tubes like this, but you might find that yours come in blocks. It doesn't really matter. Oh, and we probably will need paint brushes and a rubber in case we make a mistake. So, let's begin. I'm going to start with a pencil. Put my paint brushes over here. Stay there. Okay, so Sunny the Meerkat. He starts off with a bit like a lot of my drawings. You might notice a theme here. All drawings are sort of shaped, and Sunny is quite a long oblong. He's a long rectangle shape. That's his body. So if you think about a rectangle that gets slightly narrower towards the top, and then has a slight curve. How are we doing? If I'm going too quick for you, don't worry about pause in the video and then till you can catch up. It doesn't matter. And also, don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like mine. As I'm always saying, everybody's drawings will look slightly different, and that doesn't really matter. So, at the top of your rectangle, we're going to do a square like this, and from the square we're going to do a triangle, but the triangle is going to curve inwards slightly like that. Can you see? And then that side is going to curve that way, and it's going to go all the way down to the rectangle. How are we doing? Then I'm going to use my rubber, and I'm going to rub out the bits in between his head there and that little line on the outside. What do you think? And then I'm going to curve off that top bit of his head. I'm going to rub that out too. Some of the drawings that you've been putting up online are absolutely beautiful. I think you've done a really good job, all of you, at these drawings. Okay, is he in the middle? Sort of. Right, we're going to go down to the bottom, and a little bit below him we're just going to put a very faint line, so that can be the ground, so we know how far to take his legs down. And then at the front of his body I'm going to do a sort of curvy triangle. Think half banana but with toes on the end. Can you see the toes? Hold on. And I'm going to rub out that line there. Actually, I probably didn't need to do that. And I'm going to do another curvy banana with toes. There we go. I'm definitely going to rub that line out though. That's the front of his thigh. And then I'm going to do a tail. I'm going to bring it to about here. You could always start marking the end point of where you want your tail, then work towards it. So if I put a dot there, I'm going to start as if I was going round from his bum. And I'm going to put to that dot, and then I'm going to come away and just up to that point on his back. And I'm going to rub out all those lines in between. There and there. What do you think? That line's going to go a bit up, because his tail is sort of behind his leg. Can you see? There we go. And I'm going to make his tummy a bit rounder. There we go. Now, meerkats have these funny little hands that sort of hang down. So you want to go about 1/3 of the way up his body, and then make a shape like that comes towards the front, and another one. Triangle. So I'm going to make that like that, and then I'm going to do another one. So they're sort of like almost like a curvy banana. I'm going to do another one. It's coming out from behind his body. You can see he's got little sharp claws, so I'm making them like little points. How's yours looking? We're going to go up to his head. Now, he doesn't have big ears that stick out the top like a rabbit or a cat or anything. He has a bit more like a human ear, so that's just like a letter C on the side of his head there. And then he has a patch on his eye, so we're going to do a big circle. And then this eye is just a little dot, so we're going to have a little dot there. And he's going to have a couple of hairs sticking out the top, maybe a little smile. We're going to move on to the paint. So I'm going to use this paintbrush. I'm going to get it a little bit wet, and then I'm going to find some black or sort of bluish paint. And I'm going to, do you remember how we use a bit of spare paper? I'm just going to use the corner of this actual piece of artwork, but that's a bit messy. And I'm going to make a very pale, shady grey. And I'm going to start off on his front leg there. And just at the bottom of his tail, I'm going to go all the way along. And his back arm there. Oops, that's a bit too. That's what you get for not testing out the colour first. And make him a bit round by going down his front. And he's shading all the way up there. And then I'm going to get some brown. I'm going to get some brown paint. And I'm going to paint all of him down his back, down his legs. I'm going to make his tummy a bit paler, so I might actually just leave his tummy a bit white. There we go. What do you think? Looks a bit like Sunny so far. Oh, and I'm going to go back and do a little shadow underneath with grey. There. And then I'm going to swap to a smaller brush. It doesn't matter if you haven't got one. And I'm going to get some darker grey, this sort of colour. And I'm going to paint his ear in. And I'm going to paint his nose on the end like a little round dot. And then the end of his tail, because I have a black tail, and his hands halfway up his arms. It's like they're wearing little gloves. That's a bit dark, never mind. And his eye, and his legs. He's nearly there now. What I'm going to do to make him a bit more Sunny-like is I'm going to use, I've got a couple of brown pencils. I might even use a crayon. Let's have a look through my crayons and see if I've got a brown crayon. I've got a couple of brown crayons. And I might just do a bit of shading with the crayons. One's a bit dark. Make him look a bit hairier because crayons are quite a rough texture. Could do some hair. Do you remember how we drew the wolf last week and we did lots of little lines? That's a good way to do fur and hair on animals. We're going to make him quite hairy. There we go. What do you think? I think he's nearly done, don't you? With Sunny the Meerkat. Maybe it'd be quite nice if we actually made him stand on some deserty sand. I've got a really big brush here. Whoop, I've got a really big brush here, and I've got some yellowy paint. And he could stand on the yellowy paint. If you do a big wash of yellowy sand underneath. Lovely. Then he's standing in the desert. And there we go. That's our picture of Sunny the Meerkat. I would really love to see your drawings as well. So if you want to share them with me, if you're on Instagram, you can just use the hashtag Emily Draws and show me your pictures that way. And if you're on Facebook, you can put them in the comments thread below this video. Hopefully I'll see you next week when I will be reading.